Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in Canada, we celebrate Thanksgiving in October, which I love. So today I thought I'd give you some cute ideas for Thanksgiving cards. So let's do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through my materials. Today I'm using watercolor cards. These are Strathmore watercolor cards. I just got at my art store. I feel like they used to be better quality, or maybe back in the day I didn't really know the difference between paper. They don't react as well as like something like Arches, but they're okay, but they do tend to dry very fast. So I tend to pick and choose what kind of illustrations I do on them. Sometimes I will paint on Arches paper and then cut it out and then put it on these cards, but these are the cards I'm using today. I have my Winsor Cotman watercolors, and I have my Princeton snap brushes. I have a size 6 and a size 2 because I'm going to be doing a little bit of lettering today. So we're making a Thanksgiving card. I'm going to be doing a fall wreath with the word thankful in the middle. So the first thing I want to do is kind of just draw the outline of where I want my wreath. So I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to take this vase that I've been using as a circle stencil. Whatever works. I'm just going to do a really light circle just as a guideline. And I'm going to do my lettering in the middle first. If you want to do it with pencil first, you can totally do that. I will, just so I make sure it's centered. Usually I start from the middle out, so the middle of the word is, there's an N and a K. So I'm going to try and make sure that that's the middle. U A H. So I'm just doing regular lettering for that. And then I'm gonna write for you in kind of like cursive calligraphy. And I'm gonna show you a little bit of how I do calligraphy with a brush. I don't feel like I'm the person to teach hand lettering. There's so many other like professionals out there you can learn from, but I will show you just briefly how I do it. Okay, so I have my lettering. I'm actually gonna do that first, and then once it dries, I will do the wreath after. So I'm gonna use black. So I'm just gonna put water and paint on my brush, and I'm using a size 2. And the basics of hand lettering or calligraphy is you're going to use heavy pressure on the downstroke and light pressure on the upstroke. That just gives you a small fine line on the upstrokes and a thicker line on the downstrokes. The difference between using a brush and like a brush pen like this, or even a smaller one like a Tombow one, like this. If you use heavy pressure, you want to use the whole heavy pressure with a pen. You'll get that thick line. Now, if you use heavy pressure with a paintbrush, you will get here, like this, big thick line like that, which you don't want. So when I say heavy pressure with a paintbrush, you kind of got to control it so it's thick enough, but not too thick. And then on the upstroke, you're just going to go really light pressure so you get that thin line. And it definitely takes a lot of practice. I don't think I should do a tutorial on it because I'm not a professional, like I said. I can link some other artists down below if you are interested in that. But yeah, I'll just show you how I do it. So I'm taking my brush, and I'm kind of using the same principles for even this block lettering. Heavy pressure going down. Just makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. So light pressure up, heavy pressure down. And even though this isn't really calligraphy, I'm just using the same rules. And I think I actually like lettering with a paintbrush more. I feel like I have more control personally, but it's something that you have to practice. You will lose it if you don't practice. I have learned that because I've taken a lot of time off, and I feel like if I don't practice, it just kind of, your skill goes away. But I think that's with a lot of things, right? Heavy pressure down, light pressure up, heavy pressure down. And then you just kind of smooth it out however you need to. Okay, so that's like for block lettering. And then you're gonna do that for the cursive part. And there's a lot more that goes into just those rules. So like I said, check it out with a professional if you want. Heavy pressure, light pressure. Thankful for you. Like that. Okay, so we have our lettering, and now we're gonna do the wreath. If you feel like you might end up putting your hand in the ink, wait for it to dry, but otherwise we can get started. So we are gonna be doing a fall wreath. We have done some fall florals, so now you can just put them into a wreath. So I'm just going to erase some of these lines just so you don't see them. And I'm gonna plot my flowers down first. Now, because these are smaller flowers, you actually don't have to use as much detail. So you can actually just enjoy what you're doing. So I'm just gonna make some petals for a sunflower over here. And I'm just gonna try and put them around kind of evenly. Maybe I'll do a smaller one too. A smaller one over here as well. And I will go back over them later to add a bit more sharpness to it. And then you just gotta pick your palette of what colors you're gonna use. So I'm gonna take some red, mix my red and dioxazine purple together. Maybe I'll do some like roses. Maybe I'll do some of those orange like dahlias. So just by doing these little kind of petals. Maybe make it a darker orangey red. Like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna start adding some greenery. So I'm gonna take my Hooker's Green Dark and my dioxazine purple, mix them together to make a nice dark green. And I'm actually just going to do some lines just to kind of put where I want those stems. And it's not going to be a perfect circle. And I'm just going to start plotting in some leaves. You can always use a smaller brush too if you want to. I'm just going to go kind of like in a pattern one after the other. You can have the leaves start going different ways. And now I'm gonna make that kind of like olivey green. So I'm gonna take my sap green here. And a bit of cadmium orange. And I'm gonna start plotting more leaves in. And they can be different kinds of leaves, like another stem with little leaves. You can have some coming out from behind the flowers. And if you need a smaller brush for this, definitely use one. Or otherwise just try and use light pressure. You could always do the leaves too in like oranges and reds and yellows. That could be cool. Like that. And I think I'm gonna add some brown. Actually, I'm gonna mix some red with my green to make more of a reddy brown. And I'm just gonna throw some brown in there too. Maybe even make some of those little like wheat stalks. I'm gonna use my smaller brush for this. And it may bleed into the other leaves too a bit. Just that's why you want to use a smaller brush so it's not a lot of water bleeding into the other one. So if I was using a bigger brush and it started bleeding into the other thing, the other leaves, it could take over that whole color, but you'll have less of a chance of that happening if you're using a smaller brush. You can have some sticking out of the flowers. That. And let's do some berries too, maybe some red, deep red and purple berries that we can add in here. Just little red and purple dots, and you can add stems to them if you want. You don't have to. They can just be floating there if you like. But just to add different pops of color. Okay. Just grab some more green. I might go over some of these darker leaves as well. You can always add like little lines on them, little stem throughout. As much or little detail as you want to this. Like that. And now that our sunflowers are done, I am gonna go back in the middle with some brown to add the center, some black brown. And I'm just going to do some dots around the middle. Like that. And then I'm going to take some yellow ochre, which is just my dark yellow, and I'm just going to add some lines. I'm going to try not to touch the middle brown parts because I don't want it to bleed, although I'm still touching them. Okay. Just try your best not to. But there you go. And so you can add or take away whatever you like, whatever you think looks best for your own wreath. So there's one idea of a Thanksgiving card. What you can also do is take your pumpkin that you painted on my previous tutorial, the floral arrangement one. You can cut it out, put it on a card, you know, do a nice like gold border around and write grateful or thankful underneath. There's so many different options for these cards. Florals are really big, you know, pumpkins, you could do leaves. But yeah, create your own beautiful Thanksgiving cards and be thankful for what you got. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.